Chapter 3709 Thunder Dao Lord. The Blood Mouse Realm's Dao Lords were killed one after another, and the Blood Mouse army died even faster. Soon, only some first-tier Soul Great Dao Realm cultivators remained fighting. However, these old Blood Mice's eyes were filled with the aura of death. They knew they couldn't escape their fate today. They wanted to self-destruct, but under the burning of the world-burning fire, their will was difficult to concentrate, making even self-destruction impossible. Suddenly, one Dao Lord roared loudly, his voice piercing souls with extreme sharpness. His body expanded rapidly, his great Dao appeared, and then he exploded with a boom. The Dao Lord self-destructed his great Dao, turning countless years of cultivation into nothing. If killed by the third ancestor and others, his soul would be extinguished but his physical body would remain. With a Dao Lord's cultivation, after many years, perhaps a new consciousness might be born from the physical body. Although it wouldn't be his former self, it could be considered a form of rebirth. But now, he had detonated his own great Dao, exploding his physical body along with it. The consequences were severe. The power of a Dao Lord's self-destruction was immense. The area where the Dao Lord's physical body was located, spanning billions of miles, would be completely destroyed. Not just leveled to the ground, but thoroughly annihilated. If this self-destruction had occurred on the origin continent, at least one continent would have been torn to pieces, with all living beings on it leaving no survivors. None of the 18 Dao Lords of the Lizard God realm had self-destructed for this reason. The Great Dao's self-destruction raised a terrifying energy storm. Being within the Thousand Paths and Myriad Images formation, that area was directly torn to pieces. Even several surrounding areas were torn apart, creating a huge hole in the Thousand Paths and Myriad Images formation. The few first-tier Soul Great Dao Realm Blood Mouse strong figures in other areas all died in the self-destruction, with none surviving. Lin Moyu muttered to himself,
"What a foolish move."
Although the Thousand Paths and Myriad Images formation was damaged, it showed no signs of collapse. When Lin Moyu had set up this formation, he had already considered this issue. Each anomaly area could be viewed as an independent region. Each formed its own formation, connected to others yet not affecting them. Even if half of the Thousand Paths and Myriad Images formation was damaged, the entire formation wouldn't collapse. So this Dao Lord's self-destruction of his great Dao was indeed foolish. The Dao Lords were already in despair. Their fate was sealed. The Blood Mouse realm was finished. Half an hour later, the entire battle ended, with the Blood Mouse army completely destroyed. In the past, when Lin Moyu encountered the Blood Mouse army, he had to think of various methods and even retreat. But now, he directly annihilated them. Ouyang Wentian sighed.
This grudge has finally been avenged. In the past battles, we paid too much.
His hatred for the Blood Mouse realm was the deepest, as was his emotion. Lin Moyu collected the soul crystals and asked the third ancestor and others,
Do you all feel anything?
The Beast Emperor, Mo He, and Ouyang Wentian looked confused. They didn't feel much. Only the third ancestor seemed thoughtful.
No reward has descended from the origin continent.
With his words, the others suddenly realized. The Beast Emperor said,
That's true. It shouldn't be like this.
Mo He said,
Previously in the Lizard God realm, whenever we killed a Dao Lord, there would be some rewards from the origin Great Dao, and our true body's fate would strengthen. Why is there nothing now?
Lin Moyu chuckled.
The mystery will soon be revealed. Let's go find the answer.
The answer was the World Core. Massive numbers of skeleton god generals were deployed, spreading in all directions. This method had never failed, and Lin Moyu didn't bother finding a new one. For him, whether it took 1 day or 5 days to find it made little difference. The Blood Mouse realm wasn't large, much smaller than the Lizard God realm, so the search wouldn't take much time. Sure enough, just 3 days later, a special chaotic mist was discovered, with the World Core inside. Lin Moyu didn't immediately disperse the mist but began drawing divine runes and setting up a formation. He set up the Heaven Imprisoning Formation, specifically designed to deal with World Cores. At the same time, He told the Beast Emperor and Mohe not to devour the Wind Great Tao and Water Great Tao yet. The two now listened to Lin Moyu. After all, they weren't in a hurry. Setting up the heaven imprisoning formation for the second time, Lin Moyu was more proficient than before. The third ancestor sighed.
Such an enviable talent for formations. Last time he was still somewhat unfamiliar, but the second time he's already mastered it.
The Beast Emperor asked,
Old 3, if Lin Brothers' formation talent is so high, why hasn't he comprehended the formation Great Tao?
The third ancestor replied,
He already has enough Great Taos. One more wouldn't be of much use to him. Moreover, his requirements for divine rune formations exceed the formation Great Tao on the origin continent. Not comprehending the formation Great Tao is also about not wanting to be constrained by the Great Tao. Although we've become Tao Lords, we're still constrained by the Great Tao.
The Beast Emperor pondered the third ancestor's words. He wasn't stupid, just disliked thinking about overly complex issues. He asked quietly,
Not wanting to be constrained by the Great Tao, so not comprehending the Great Tao, is this feasible?
The third ancestor shook his head.
I don't know. This is just my personal speculation, not necessarily accurate.
The Beast Emperor snorted.
So after all that, you're just guessing.
The third ancestor said,
Of course. Bold speculation and diligent verification. That's what we should be doing.
The Beast Emperor clearly didn't believe the third ancestor, muttering to himself.
If we don't comprehend the Great Tao, what are we cultivating for?
The third ancestor ignored him and focused on Lin Moyu's heaven imprisoning formation, hoping to gain some insights. However, after watching for a long time, the third ancestor could only feel that Lin Moyu's realm of understanding was too high, far beyond his own. The way of formations greatly valued the vision of the formation setter. Only with sufficient vision could one set up magnificent formations. With the heaven imprisoning formation complete, Lin Moyu pushed it out to cover the mist outside the world core. He didn't immediately activate the formation but kept it hidden and dormant.
Beast Emperor Senior, Black Senior, you can devour the Great Taos now.
The two responded and simultaneously activated their origin Great Taos. Two Great Taos appeared, drawing out the Wind and Water Great Taos from the Blood Mouse realm. The two Great Taos in the Blood Mouse realm had no Tao Lords, so after drawing them out with their own Great Taos, they began to devour them. Because there were no Tao Lords, their devouring went very smoothly. Lin Moyu kept a close eye on the mist around the world core, but there was no movement within the mist. He took out a primordial virtual treasure, using its power to erode the mist. The mist gradually weakened, becoming thinner and thinner. The Beast Emperor and Mohe devoured quickly, possibly because the origin Great Taos in the Blood Mouse realm weren't strong. They had soon devoured the Great Taos. Similarly, the mist protecting the world core was far weaker than that of the Lizard God realm, eroding quickly. Until the world core was completely revealed, the world will showed no movement.
Could my guess be wrong? That shouldn't be the case.
Lin Moyu waved his hand, and the world-burning fire enveloped the world core. Instantly, screams erupted, and the entire Blood Mouse realm was covered by the world-burning fire. One could imagine how terrified and desperate the beings in that world must be. The world will screamed incessantly, and then a massive aura rose.
Stop!
Amidst the roar, a virtual image appeared outside the world core. Ouyang Wentian instinctively called out,
Thunder Tao Lord!
Chapter 3710. Unable to say or afraid to say. Shangguan Wentian's exclamation of surprise startled everyone except Lin Moyu. The third ancestor seemed to recognize this shadow.
You are the former Tao Lord of the Thunder Great Tao, Lei Jiuxuan?
The shadow spoke softly.
It is indeed me. Stop immediately, or I will not let you off.
Shangguan Wentian asked loudly.
Tao Lord Lei, didn't you die in the Blood Rat realm?
Lei Jiuxuan remained silent, his cold gaze fixed on Lin Moyu. He shouted,
Stop!
Lin Moyu shook his head.
You have no right to make demands of me now. Answer our questions obediently, or I'll burn you to death.
Lei Jiuxuan shouted angrily.
You're seeking death.
Boom! A thunder great Tao appeared in the virtual realm, with electric snakes dancing and rumbling within. The third ancestor and others changed color. There was originally no thunder great Tao in the blood rat realm, so how did it suddenly appear? Obviously, this thunder great Tao had been hidden. It seemed beyond the abilities of a Tao lord to accomplish this. Lin Moyu looked at the jumping thunder.
If you really had the power to destroy us, you would have done so already, not waited until now. Answer the questions honestly, and perhaps I'll consider letting you off.
Lei Jiuxuan shouted angrily.
You're seeking death.
Boom! Infinite thunder fell, striking towards Lin Moyu. On the surface, Lin Moyu appeared to be the weakest among them, so killing him first to establish dominance wasn't wrong. A large tree appeared behind Lin Moyu, the Een tree from the Skeleton King. The Een wood was an innate virtual treasure, and part of the world tree. Its strength surpassed other innate virtual treasures. Lin Moyu used it as a shield to block the thunder. Myriad thunderbolts struck the Een wood, which only shook slightly, undamaged. Lin Moyu sneered.
Your power isn't quite enough.
Lei Jiuxuan raged.
You're seeking death.
He seemed truly angered and summoned more thunder, shaking the virtual realm with the power of the Tao. But Lin Moyu remained calm, only using the Een wood to defend without making any other moves. The Een wood grew extremely large, blocking all attacks for Lin Moyu. The third ancestor and others didn't intervene, trusting Lin Moyu to handle it. By now, they no longer doubted Lin Moyu's words. Lei Jiuxuan, a legendary figure said to be dead. Why would he appear here? This itself was questionable. Lin Moyu's voice came from behind the Een wood.
In the real world, your attacks would indeed be formidable. But unfortunately, this is the virtual realm, and your power is greatly diminished. The Blood Rat realm has no Thunder Great Tao. Even if you became the world will and controlled this world, you still can't draw the Thunder Great Tao from the origin ancestral land. It's my turn now.
Lin Moyu snapped his fingers, and the hidden cage Heaven formation suddenly activated. The cage Heaven formation blocked all incoming Tao power, turning the world's origin core into an isolated island. The Thunder Great Tao, which could originally absorb power from the outside world, now had pitifully little power with the cage Heaven formation in place. As the Thunder Great Tao weakened, Lei Jiuxuan roared in anger, activating several Great Taos. As the world will, he could manipulate the Tao powers within the world, but clearly these Taos were not strong or he wasn't proficient with them. His expertise was still in the Thunder Great Tao. If even the Thunder Great Tao couldn't deal with Lin Moyu, the other Taos were even less effective. The third ancestor said softly,
The little fox was right. In the real world, the world will become extremely powerful and difficult to deal with. But in the virtual realm, the rules have changed, and the little fox is the most formidable one.
The Beast Emperor strongly agreed with the third ancestor's words.
Indeed, in the virtual realm, except for those few, Brother Lin can practically walk sideways.
The third ancestor said,
The little fox's methods certainly don't stop here. He won't easily reveal his trump cards.
The Beast Emperor was surprised.
You're saying Brother Lin has more trump cards?
The third ancestor said,
Those who have seen his trump cards are probably all dead. Back when he was still a Tao Venerable, he could easily kill outer heavenly gods. It would be strange if he didn't have trump cards.
The Beast Emperor thought for a moment and deeply agreed. The cage Heaven formation was too strong. In the virtual realm, it was specifically used to counter the world's origin core, and also countered the world will. The Tao power Lei Jiuxuan could manipulate grew weaker and weaker, while Lin Moyu's world-burning fire burned more and more fiercely. Lei Jiuxuan roared in anger, but to no avail. Finally, raging flames erupted on Lei Jiuxuan's shadow, and his angry roars turned into screams of agony. Even as the world will, he writhed in pain and trembled before the world-burning fire.
Stop, stop!
Lei Jiuxuan cried out repeatedly. Lin Moyu said,
Answer the questions, and I'll consider letting you go.
Lei Jiuxuan clearly didn't want to answer, so Lin Moyu naturally wouldn't stop. As a former Dao Lord of an origin great Dao, Lei Jiuxuan's Dao heart was firm and wouldn't easily submit. Lin Moyu wasn't in a hurry and burned slowly, able to burn for a very long time. The world-burning fire fluctuated in size, and the pain changed accordingly. The whole process was as agonizing as possible. After persisting for half a day, Lei Jiuxuan finally couldn't endure it. His Dao heart nearly shattered as he begged.
I'll talk.
Lin Moyu said.
Good. First question, why didn't you die back then?
Lei Jiuxuan clearly hesitated again. Seeing his hesitation, Lin Moyu immediately increased the fire, once again burning Lei Jiuxuan until he screamed miserably. He hurriedly cried out,
It was the world will that made me do it.
The fire immediately decreased, allowing him to catch his breath. Lin Moyu knew he had made a breakthrough, and it would be much easier from here on. Lin Moyu continued,
The world will of the origin continent made you become the world will of the blood rat realm, is that correct?
Lei Jiuxuan was much more forthright this time.
That's right, it was the world will of the origin continent that made me do it.
Lin Moyu continued,
Why did he have you do this? And how did you overcome the world will of the blood rat realm? Answer in detail. If you hide anything, you know the consequences.
Lei Jiuxuan was truly scared by the burning. The feeling of the world-burning fire terrified him. He recounted everything that had happened before. At this moment, the third ancestor and others completely believed Lin Moyu's words. The world will of the origin continent truly had its own intelligence. It manipulated some Dao lords to create world children, likely plotting something. Lei Jiuxuan said,
Back then, when we counterattacked the blood rat realm, it wasn't strong and we easily broke in. We split into 5 routes, with a total of 5 teams, and 5 origin great Dao cultivators. At the time, I carried a fragment of the world will. Following its guidance, I found the world core of the blood rat realm at the fastest speed. The world will fragment was very powerful. With its help, I successfully took over and became the master of the blood rat realm. With the support of the entire world, my power became even stronger. Then, under its instructions, I killed 2 of the Dao lords who came with me and severely injured 2 others. When they returned, they would bring back news of the failed attack on the blood rat realm, and no one would come to the blood rat realm again for a short time.
Lin Moyu frowned slightly.
You still haven't answered me. Why do this?
Lei Jiuxuan hesitated again.
I can't say.
Lin Moyu chuckled.
Is it that you can't say, or you're afraid to say?
Chapter 37:11. How the Lord of Hell Died. Lei Jiuxuan was asked questions by Lin Moyu, and he hesitated for a long time. Seeing Lin Moyu's patience quickly disappearing and the world-burning fire about to continue burning, he finally opened his mouth.
I dare not speak.
Being able to push a powerful origin Dao Lord to such a state, whether it was the origin continent's world will or Lin Moyu, their methods were chilling. Lin Moyu asked,
So, that person left a hidden hand in your place to control you?
Lei Jiuxuan nodded silently. Lin Moyu said,
This control method must use a specific condition to trigger, right?
Lei Jiuxuan nodded again.
I cannot betray him, otherwise I will certainly die, and this world will also be destroyed. You will gain nothing.
Lin Moyu didn't doubt Lei Jiuxuan's words. He believed the origin continent's world will have this capability. After all, in his speculation, the origin continent had once buried an entire era, and it was possible that it wasn't just one era. This secret might not even be known by Lei Jiuxuan. Lin Moyu thought for a moment.
Since that's the case, I won't ask anymore. Just tell me everything you can, don't deceive me, I can sense it.
Lei Jiuxuan felt as if he had been pardoned. Lin Moyu saw his micro-expressions and inner activities reflected in his expression. However, Lei Jiuxuan didn't notice the chill hidden deep within Lin Moyu's soul. He didn't know that no matter what he said today, it was all part of a predetermined fate. Lei Jiuxuan began to recount what happened in the past. He dared not hide anything because Lin Moyu was too terrifying, having completely intimidated him. When he was born, thunder roared, and he had thunder marks on his body. The doctors were close to thunder due to fate. His fate was strong, and he encountered many strange occurrences. His cultivation progressed rapidly, reaching the Great Tao realm in just 10,000 years. After entering the Great Tao realm, he continued to advance swiftly, still encountering many strange occurrences. Even in the soul void, he would meet many virtual beasts. He didn't need to leave the origin continent's world to hunt virtual beasts. The beasts he encountered were slightly weaker than expected, giving him a feeling of being fed at his doorstep. He cultivated smoothly to the high stage of the first-tier soul, just one step away from becoming a Tao Lord. At that time, the Thunder Great Tao had no Tao Lord. It was then that the world will descended. The world will place the origin of the Thunder Great Tao before him, saying that if he submitted to the world will, the origin of the Thunder Great Tao would be his, and he could immediately become the Thunder Tao Lord. If he didn't submit, he would die. The world will could easily kill him. The thunder marks on his body were a time bomb laid by the world will from birth. Only then did Lei Jiuxuan realize that he had been a pawn of the world will since birth. His talent and strange occurrences were all because of the world will. He had no choice. He either lived on his knees or was reduced to nothing. He became a Tao Lord and a servant of the world will, starting to do its bidding. The first task the world will gave him was to leave the origin continent and search for other worlds. Not in the soul void, but in the real world. The world will wanted to find real worlds to invade and plunder their fate. He found 2 small worlds for the world will, which was considered a merit, earning him many rewards. His power increased, and only then did he realize that although he was a Tao Lord, the Thunder Great Tao was still controlled by the world will. He could only manipulate part of the Great Tao's power. The world will's strength was beyond his imagination, making him more obedient and afraid to disobey. Until the origin calamity broke out, the Black Water Realm and the Heavenly God Realm, along with several affiliated worlds, targeted the origin continent. He was tasked with attacking the Blood Mouse Realm and eventually became its master, but he remained hidden behind the scenes. The Tao Lords in the Blood Mouse Realm didn't know that their world had a new master. As for why this was done, Lei Jiuxuan wasn't clear. Lin Moyu's expression remained unchanged. Many things he had already guessed, but Lei Jiuxuan's words confirmed his speculations. However, the third ancestor and others looked serious because Lin Moyu's guesses had come true, erasing any remaining luck they had. They realized that becoming Tao Lords wasn't because of their own strength, but because the world will was in a half-asleep state during the origin calamity and hadn't fully recovered, losing control over the heavens and earth. Once the world will truly awakened, they might not have the chance to become Tao Lords, and even if they did, they would be controlled by the world will. Lin Moyu asked,
Are there many people like you?
Lei Jiuxuan shook his head.
I'm not sure, but there should be many. After I discovered the world, I didn't need to manage it anymore. There should be others who will attack that world. At that time, he probably didn't fully trust me yet.
Attacking other worlds and plundering their power and fate was the world will's method of strengthening itself. However, Lin Moyu felt there should be something deeper, which was what the world will truly sought. The world will hid its most needed things very deeply and wouldn't tell anyone. Lin Moyu continued to ask,
How did you become the world will of the Blood Mouse realm?
Lei Jiuxuan was a Tao Lord from the real world with a physical body, not a virtual beast, so he couldn't become the world will of the Blood Mouse realm. There must be another reason. Lei Jiuxuan said,
It was his secret method that helped me create a clone. This clone had no physical attributes but could contain my will.
Lin Moyu's heart moved as he pursued the question.
Do you know what this secret method is called?
Lei Jiuxuan shook his head.
I'm not very clear.
Lin Moyu thought for a moment.
Tell me the situation in detail, including your feelings.
Lei Jiuxuan recounted everything. Lin Moyu furrowed his brow.
The 3 lives secret method.
Though he couldn't be certain, he was about 80% sure that the world will's method was the 3 lives secret method. This secret method, once created by a genius from the Buddhist tribe, was now mastered by the world will. This further confirmed Lin Moyu's speculations, suggesting that the era belonging to the Buddhist tribe was likely buried by the world will. Lin Moyu looked at the third ancestor and others.
Do any of you have questions?
The third ancestor whispered.
Lei Jiuxuan, after you became the master of the Blood Mouse realm, did he ask you to do anything?
Lei Jiuxuan shook his head.
No, he has been in a deep sleep and only recently began to awaken. He hasn't given me any tasks yet.
The third ancestor pressed on.
Did he mention anything he might ask you to do in the future?
Lei Jiuxuan replied.
No, I'm just waiting for orders. I haven't even seen him.
The third ancestor thought for a moment.
I have no more questions.
The others also indicated they had nothing to ask. Lin Moyu said.
One last question. How did the Lord of Hell die?
Chapter 37:12. The culprit behind the death of the Lord of Hell. When the question was raised, Lei Jiuxuan's expression became complex. He seemed to want to say something but couldn't bring himself to speak. Lin Moyu noticed his conflict and said,
It seems you know something. You don't need to answer, just nod. Was it him who ordered the killing?
Lei Jiuxuan hesitated for a moment before nodding, but then shook his head. Lin Moyu understood his meaning.
You suspect it was him, but you have no evidence.
Lei Jiuxuan immediately nodded. This made the third ancestor and others look very serious. They realized something. Just as they were about to say something, Lin Moyu's expression changed, and he shot them a sharp glance, stopping them from speaking. Lin Moyu's eyes turned sharp, and he signaled to the third ancestor and others to retreat. They quickly understood and backed away. Lin Moyu also retreated, activating the heaven imprisoning formation and fully igniting the world-burning fire. Cries erupted as Lei Jiuxuan shouted loudly.
You promised to spare my life.
Lin Moyu didn't say a word, continuing to retreat while taking out one primordial virtual treasure after another, releasing a large amount of chaotic mist. The group quickly disappeared into the mist. Through the mist, one could faintly see the world-burning fire raging on, spreading from the real world into the soul void. The Beast Emperor was about to say something, but the third ancestor signaled him to be quiet. Lin Moyu threw out more primordial virtual treasures, which burst into various colors of light, intertwining with each other. Several small spirit domain kings appeared as virtual images, releasing astonishing auras. The group retreated further until they completely left the Blood Mouse realm. Lin Moyu didn't relax yet, continuing to envelop them with chaotic mist. After retreating a long way, Lin Moyu finally let out a sigh of relief.
It's okay now.
The Beast Emperor couldn't help but ask.
What happened?
Lin Moyu explained.
The Origin Continent's world will has awakened. We are people of the Origin Continent, and all our information must not be discovered by it.
The Beast Emperor felt a chill. Any information, including sounds, forms, and soul auras, could be detected. If discovered by the world will, their fate would be death. Lin Moyu had done this to conceal their existence. The heaven imprisoning formation, primordial virtual treasures, chaotic mist, and simulated small spirit domain kings were all methods used to hide them. The third ancestor asked,
Aren't you afraid Lei Jiuxuan will betray us?
Lin Moyu shook his head.
Don't worry about him. He can't speak. The world will is coming from outside, and with the heaven imprisoning formation, it can't get in. By the time it can contact Lei Jiuxuan, he will already be dead from the world-burning fire.
The final flames of the world-burning fire ensured that Lei Jiuxuan couldn't utter a single word. The third ancestor's expression turned serious.
I never thought that after cultivating for countless years, our situation would be like this.
Mo sighed.
There's a saying that without reaching the great Tao realm, all spirits are like ants. It seems that even if we become great Tao realm cultivators and Tao lords, we're still just bigger ants.
The Beast Emperor also said,
Is there any meaning in our cultivation?
At this moment, he seemed somewhat disheartened, feeling as though he had lost his goal. Many people cultivate to achieve immortality by reaching the Great Tao realm, unaware that even in the Great Tao realm, there is no true immortality. Lin Moyu said,
There's no need to be so pessimistic. All things in the world have two sides. We may be ants for now, but we won't always be. Think about it another way. Isn't the world will also an ant? Countless worlds are born and die, and the world will cannot live forever. To truly achieve immortality, one must defy heaven and constantly grow stronger.
The third ancestor waved his hand.
Indeed, there's no need to be pessimistic. Now that we've confirmed the world will has intelligence, you can analyze it further, little fox. Also, tell us everything you haven't said yet.
Lin Moyu nodded.
Before I was just speculating, but now with Lei Jiuxuan's testimony, it's confirmed. Firstly, the world will has intelligence. This is no longer in doubt. Then I thought about a genius from the Buddhist tribe who created the 3 lives secret method and became a small spirit domain king. But that Buddhist genius ended up dying and disappearing, while the Buddhist tribe still exists on the origin continent with great karma. Don't you find this strange?
The third ancestor whispered.
The existence of such a genius suggests that the Buddhist tribe was once very prosperous. Yet, the current Buddhist tribe, despite having great karma, is pitifully weak. So you speculate that the downfall of the Buddhist tribe is also related to the world will?
Lin Moyu nodded.
I speculate that the Buddhist tribe and the insect tribe should be remnants from a previous era on the origin continent. They flourished in that era with many strong figures, but were eventually buried by the world will. Today's Buddhist and insect tribes are like pets left behind by the world will, witnessing the changes of the ages.
As they listened to Lin Moyu's analysis, even though they had prepared themselves, they were still deeply impacted. The waters of this world were deeper than they had imagined. Lin Moyu continued.
Based on this, we can infer that the true culprit behind the death of the Lord of Hell is a strong figure who survived from the previous era. More accurately, it's the most loyal servant of the world will. Only those who are most loyal have the qualification to live through an era and achieve what's called immortality. Exchanging freedom for immortality isn't necessarily a bad thing. There's a hidden thunder great Tao in the Blood Mouse realm, and naturally, there will be corresponding hidden great Taos on the origin continent. What we see of the world is just one corner.
The third ancestor whispered.
Are the insect and Buddhist tribes from the same era?
Lin Moyu smiled.
It's hard to say if they're from the same era. It's possible, but also possible they're not. Perhaps each era has a different form. Our era is one where all races flourish. It's possible that in the previous era, there was only the Buddhist tribe or the insect tribe, or maybe both coexisted. I can also guess that the insect tribe likely originated from the same source as the dragon tribe, which is why the dragon tribe sees them as archenemies.
Lin Moyu's speculations were well-reasoned and not baseless. The Beast Emperor whispered.
Did they never discover this and try to resist?
Lin Moyu smiled.
How could they not? The Buddhist geniuses created the 3 lives secret method and became small spirit domain kings as a form of resistance. The world exists within small spirit domains, and by becoming their kings, they tried to counter the world. Unfortunately, this method failed. Their physical bodies remained on the origin continent, unable to truly escape. The world will have many ways to deal with them, just like our situation now. So before we succeed, we must keep our secrets. Otherwise, our fate will be the same as that era's, buried by the world will. I think we should proceed like this.
After a series of preparations, Lin Moyu finally revealed his plan.